What is up guys, Ben, and welcome back to a different video that I'm going to do on my channel. It is going to be sort of a Manchester City season review so far. I know we're only like a third of the way through the season, but going into the international break, I think there's a few things that we need to talk about. There's a few things that need to be said to Pellegrini. Obviously, he's not going to see this, I know that, but you know, there are a few things that I need to get across to you guys, just so you know where I stand on the whole Manchester City situation. For those of you that don't know, I am a City fan, and yes, you can hate me all you want, call me glorious, but I've supported them for at least 10 years now, so, you know, it's, if you want to go back that far, we were in you know, the second division of English football for a long time, and you know, have gone through 8-0 thrashings from Middlesbrough. So if you want to call me a glory hunter or a glory supporter or a money whore, whatever, yeah, leave your comments, that'd be cool. I'll just remove them straight away. But anyway, we're going to get into this video, and what I want to talk about is just the whole season in Manchester City so far, from as soon as the World Cup finished till now, and or even before the World Cup, to be honest. So we're going to start things off with the FA Cup. Obviously, not a lot of action for the Premier League sides in the FA Cup so far, so there's not really a lot to talk about there. Obviously, we're still in it, but you know, it's not really something we could have cocked up on really so far. Capital One Cup, we've been absolutely shit. You know, we lined up against Newcastle with a really solid team. They went out with the youngsters, you know, and they still beat us. Just a quick note, you will be seeing a little game in the background that I thought was fairly entertaining because he was just a pace whore, and I really couldn't contain him, and I thought you guys should see that. I did actually win the game, but I'm only going to show you the first half. But so the Capital One Cup, we've been absolutely poor. The Champions League, again, we've had a tough group, but still poor results. We should be doing better. You know, we've drawn with CSK Moscow. We should have won away. We've lost to CSK Moscow. We should have won at home. We've drawn to Roma at home. We should have won. Obviously, the only game that actually was a fair result was against Bayern Munich, which we lost. So, again, it's poor. We're just not a European side at the minute. We just don't have the experience, and you know, we're just not a good enough side to win a European competition yet. I don't know what it is. We just seem to drop off in Europe, and to be 100% honest, I don't really care about Europe that much. I'd much rather us win the Premier League than the Champions League at the minute, just because the Champions League, there is a fair amount of luck to do with it. Depends what group you have and your draw and stuff like that. I'm not saying that if you win the Champions League, you've only done it by luck. If you win the Champions League, you've done a hell of a job. But for me, a season over 38 games, playing everybody in the league, I think that is a better way to go about things. But you know, it shows how consistent you can be. We'll say from there. Now we're going to talk about the Barclays Premier League now, and Manuel Pellegrini will claim, you know, that we've got more points than last season, so we're doing better than last season. That's absolute horseshit. We've been absolutely poor. Yes, we have more points than last season. Big whoop. You know, like they said on Match of the Day, I would much rather be trailing last year's Chelsea side and Arsenal than trailing this year's Chelsea side. This year's Chelsea side is incredible. Probably one of the best teams the Premier League has ever seen. Definitely the best team the Premier League has seen since the 2003-04 season where Arsenal went undefeated. So Manuel Pellegrini, he's full of shit by saying we've had a better start to the season. Absolutely full of shit. We're giving away points to lesser teams, if you will, and there's no disrespect. Obviously, West Ham, Stoke, you know, and QPR even, you know, they're all Premier League sides for a reason, but they're still lesser sides. We played really well against the likes of Liverpool, who we beat, Arsenal, who we drew against, United, who we beat, Chelsea, who we drew against. We haven't lost against the top four, if you will, side. So yes, we have played very well against those, but in the smaller games, we go into it too cocky. You know, we've got the new boys in Fernando and Mangala, don't really know what the Premier League is about. They don't really realise. Both coming from Porto, obviously, and the lesser sides in the Portuguese league aren't going to touch Porto and Benfica. That's not the case in the Premier League, you know. One of my friends always says, you know, the Premier League's the best league in the world. I disagree with him. I think the Bundesliga or the BBVA is the best league in the world. It is more, not more competitive as such, but it's more entertaining. But the Premier League, any team can beat any team, and that is what the new boys need to get driven into their heads very quickly. You know, it's something that has been a big thing with Manchester City over the past couple of years, is we seem to throw away points against easy sides, and you know, we've had 2 hangover seasons now after winning 2 Premier League trophies in the last 4 years, and it's frustrating, without a doubt. It's frustrating in the last 3 years even. You know, obviously when we won it the first time in 2012, you know, in the season after that when United won it, we had a massive hangover season, and then we bucked our ideas up, made a few good signings, and then won the league again, and it looks like we're going to have another hangover season where we come second and we lose the league by 11 or 12 points, which is looking more and more likely every single game. But, you know, it's frustrating to watch. Last night when I came in from work, I was watching the QPR Man City game, and last night when I'm recording this, you'll see this on Tuesday. I'm recording this on Sunday, but yeah, I came home and I struggled to watch it. You know, I'm a big City fan. You know, I'm not one of these people that will just watch the occasional game. I'm a huge City fan. I'm a huge football fan. Everything Manchester City I love, and you know, it's just one of those things where I struggle to watch it. We looked absolutely poor midfield-wise. We had no creativity going forwards. Our three attacking midfielders were Nasri, Yaya Toure, and Navas, all fantastic players. Nasri was sharp. Yaya Toure was rubbish like he has been all season apart from the United game, and Navas was terrible as well. And it's hugely frustrating because, you know, obviously we're missing David Silva, who is undoubtedly our best player with Aguero, and you know, that's something else I want to say. Our only three consistent players for the whole season has been Aguero, Silva, and Demichelis. Who would have thought I was saying that about Demichelis at the beginning of last year? You know, he has settled in so well over the last year, and he's played better than Company this year. Without doubt, he's played better than Company this year. Company has made mistakes here and there. He got beat by Rooney. He got nutmegged by Rooney. Obviously, he didn't score from it, but he was very lucky not to. And Company's been off. Whether that's from the Champions League, you know, everybody in the Manchester City starting lineup, apart from Sanya, Nasri, and Demichelis against QPR, were actually involved with and Fernando. Sorry, were actually involved with the Brazilian. Or not Brazilian, but well, yeah, we're involved with the World Cup in Brazil, and you know it's frustrating because obviously they've had a long time to readjust to the Premier League. They've had a long time to get fit again. They've had a long time just to get their heads down and get used to it. And it looks like everybody's just having a hangover from the World Cup. You know, Joe Hart has been okay, but again, he looks like his head's down from the World Cup. Obviously, Sanya and Demichelis has been good. Mangala didn't really get a lot of game time out there. I don't think Clichy went even, or did Clichy go? No, I'm not 100% sure. Obviously, Fernandinho went, got a little bit of game time. Yaya Toure went, huge disappointment. Aguero went, got injured. You know, and it's just a frustrating thing. So we'll have to see how the rest of the season goes for us. But, you know, we're just going to talk about all the signings we made this year. Now Mangala was a 30 million euro signing from FC Porto, obviously, and against Chelsea, he was absolutely superb. Him and Company kept Diego Costa quiet, they kept Hazard quiet, Oscar quiet, Fabregas they closed down really nice and early when he was in the attacking line, and I thought, holy moly, you know, we're in for something special here. You know, this Company Mangala partnership is going to be spectacular. Since then, Mangala has been woeful at best. He's been terrible. He's been out of position. He's been caught up by the pace of the game. He jumps out of the line like Demichelis used to. He just doesn't read the game well. He's made mistakes. He's scored own goals. He's given away penalties. You know, he's just been absolutely poor. And now I'm all for giving a player time, but when you're in a competitive league like the Premier League, you can't give a player like Mangala time if he's going to keep on making mistakes. You know, he's got to prove. We haven't kept a clean sheet in so long. Well, apart from the Man United game, of course, we haven't kept a clean sheet in. You know, against QPR conceding 2 goals, against West Ham conceding 2 goals. Teams that we shouldn't even be conceding goals to, we're conceding 2. And it's massively frustrating. And I'm sure a lot of you fans at that, I'm sure I don't know how United fans are coping at the minute, because we're having one bad third of the season and I'm pulling my hair out. So United fans, in a way, I feel sorry for you, but you know, I don't know, it's just hugely frustrating. Fernando was the next signing, 12 million. He's been very good so far. He does the nitty gritty on the ball. He makes blocks. He gets his body in the way. He makes tackles. He makes last tackles. He takes a yellow card. He does the nitty gritty. He wins the ball. As soon as he wins the ball, he's fucking shocking on the ball. He's diabolical. He can't pass. He can't dribble. He can't take a first touch. I can take a better first touch than him, and I'm no footballer. So you know, again, it's one of those things. Sanya. The only thing I can say about Sanya is he is absolutely terrible and he deserves to go into the reserve straight away. Caballero, I don't think he's a crap goalkeeper, but I think he was one of our best signings, like as they said on Match of the Day last night. He's a decent goalkeeper because he gives Joe Hart some competition, and obviously then Joe Hart's not got to buckle down, and because of that Joe Hart is in better form. And Frank Lampard obviously was another signing, and he's been absolutely fantastic when he's fit, absolutely brilliant. So all in all, I'm just going to round things up nice and quickly by the end of this video. Hart has been brilliant for most of the season. You know, he makes a couple of mistakes here and there, but he's been decent. Defensively, we've been absolutely poor. Huge improvements from Demichelis. Obviously, he's been absolutely fantastic. Company has been the worst of the two so far this year, and you know I never thought I would have said that about anybody. Wing backs in Sanyo and Clichy are poor, terrible defensively. You know they're decent going forward, but Kolarov is so much better than Clichy. We need Kolarov fit as quickly as we can. Defensive midfielders in Fernando, brilliant. Fernandinho not a CDM. Creative midfielders are okay. Yaya is a letdown this season. Silva's been a genius, and so is Nasri when he's fit. Milner's been solid. He's been a brilliant player. Navas adds pace, but ugh. Aguero is a true genius. You know, I haven't spoken enough about Aguero. I've spoken about the bad things as the footage runs out. You're just going to see my Twitter for the last 30 seconds or so. I haven't spoken enough about Aguero. He has been absolutely fantastic this year. He's been an absolute genius. He is our one-man team. Dzeko's been okay. Jovetic has been sharp when he plays, but he still hasn't found that goal-scoring form. All in all, we've been disappointing this year, and I think Chelsea will win the league. And if we keep going like we are, we'll be lucky to get top 4, I think. But anyway, guys, do let me know your thoughts in the comments down below, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Adios.